Hey guys, Moneyman300 got another tuning video here today. This time we have a Class C BRZ, another Class C BRZ, but this time it's going to be a speed one. Wanted to build it up. It's a VIP car that Turn 10 gave out. I think it's VIP. I don't know that they gave it to everybody, but anyway, nothing different than the regular BRZ other than the cool paint job that came with it that you can see here. So, yep, so we're going to do, we'll head out over the track, take a look. This is a real good lobby car, real good Rivals car. I think you guys are really going to love this one. So let's head over to the track and check it out. Okay, so here we are out on the track, and as you can see, Rock King 3 is my rival. Just happened to be the rival, so I didn't change it. He's just over 200, just a little over 200 placed with that Lotus Cortina, which seems to be a beast of a car out there for people. But we'll go through the lap here. Pretty good through the first turn. A little bit of tire scrub, but carry good speed through there all the way. It's hitting close to 150 miles an hour on that straightaway, which is pretty good for Class C on this. Yeah, and as long as you just drive this smoothly, it really sets up nicely. Turns well. Just a touch of oversteer in there, which is okay. I like the cars have a little bit of oversteer. And good speed. Look at that car. Look at that Cortina in the mid-range. That is ridiculous. A car should not be able to do that like that. But this car is more top end. But that thing in the mid-range, the way it pulls is just ridiculous. And it's probably because it weighs like 1,500 pounds, but I don't know. A car like that probably shouldn't be able to do that. But just happens to be one of those really good cars, one of those older cars that tune to the top really well. Kind of like the D-Class Mini. The Cortina is kind of like the C-Class equivalent of that. But still moving pretty good through here. You saw I lost the tires just a little bit in through there. Wasn't too bad, and make a pretty good turn there, and you can see take advantage of a little bit of a mistake that Rock King had there, going a little bit wide on that turn, and then I go wide on that one. Mistake there. Really wanted to keep that in a little tighter. Got down in tight and got back on the gas. Pretty good speed there, and then through here. This is a part where this car has some advantage in that in the top end. Just has more. You can see I'm able to walk away a little bit in this part of the track just because it is the top end. You can see here this is the second lap that I ran, so was able to really, after coming out of test drive, put this thing on the track and do pretty well pretty quickly with it. And then still looking pretty good through here. I think I completely just kill one of the, right there, just completely lose the back end, get it. I lost some serious time right there. It didn't look like much, but that's right at the point we need to get on it, so I didn't get the speed I needed coming out of there. Got a pretty good lead right here, though, so things are looking pretty good, but this car is just ridiculous. That other car coming up the hill is just ridiculous. Look at that thing. It just, it's like I'm standing still. It just clips me off at the end, but you can see just from one lap how good this can be. You can see where that puts us at 231st place in the first lap, so certainly more in there. Scrubbed the tires pretty good on a couple of those, but overall real good, and definitely has a lot more in it. So let's head over into the garage and take a look at our build and tune. Okay, so here we are over in the garage. Let's hop in and take a look at our build. So the first place we're going to go is, as always, is into the engine conversion and engine swap. So we don't have any engine swap here. I did play around and test with the Rally engine, and you can make this work in that, and you can make it quick with this. I just have a lot of cars that already have this engine in it, and didn't want to have another short shifting engine car, but if you prefer this one, you can make this work. You're gonna have to switch up your parts a little bit. You may have to forego tires. When I was testing with it, I was doing it with stock tires, and as you see, I'll have street tires, but I did elect to go with this. I wanted to keep it a little bit more stock. Was able to get really good horsepower out of it, and I think it's equally as fast, if not maybe a little faster on the top end. This engine just does really good in that mid-range, so that's what we have there in the engine swap. As far as aspiration conversion, we do have the centrifugal supercharger. I did play around with the single turbo, but you just get more bang for your buck in these lower classes with the centrifugal supercharger. As you get up into the higher classes, a lot of times you do need to use the single turbo or the twin turbo, whatever the other option is there, in order to get enough PI to get you up in those higher classes. But definitely the centrifugal supercharger in these lower classes, it just works out the best. So let's hop over into our engine area, and we're gonna have three things in here. We're gonna have the sport intake, gonna have the race exhaust, and we're going to have the race centrifugal supercharger. So you always start here, get as much as I can out of that, and then fill it in. I usually go from the supercharger or turbo, whichever I have there, to the exhaust, and then start filling it in to other areas. I do the exhaust because you get a weight benefit as well out of doing the exhaust. So that's usually the order that I do those in, and that's that. Let's take a look at our numbers real quick. Didn't go through those yet. We got 6.2, 5.1, 7.4, 7.7, and 5.4. 303 horsepower, 224 foot-pounds of torque, 2,848 pounds, 55% of that to the front, 2.0 liters of displacement. And you see 5.19, 0 to 60, 12.296, 0 to 100, at 151.7 miles an hour. And you will get all of that out of this car coming on that straightaway in Road America, as you saw in the race. So there is all of our performance area. Let's go into the platform and handling. We're going to have the race brakes, the race springs and dampers, the race front roll bars, the race rear roll bars, and we're going to have race roll cage. It did not have a huge weight penalty at 81 pounds. It gave me, 3 PI to work with, and also improves a little bit on your handling, your launch, and your braking numbers, as you can see, or at least, yeah, there you go. See there, I go down in all those. It does say the acceleration, but that's purely based on the weight. So we do have the race roll cage in there, and we do not have any weight reduction in this class to keep it there, and a speed build, not able to do any of that. So there is that there. Let's hop into our drivetrain. We're gonna have the sport transmission, so we can get the adjustable drivetrain or adjustable final drive ratio. That is necessary as enabled to, and actually, yeah, and actually, if you look here, stock transmission's more, so it's even better that way. But you need it. You need to be able to adjust the gears on this car anyway, at least the final drive ratio. So we have that. I believe we have a drive line here. We're able to get a free one out of that. A couple pounds there in that first drive line, and then we also have the race differential. So that is our platform and handling. Let's move over to the tires and rims. So in the tires, we do have the street tire compound. You might be able to make this work with stock. You get 8 PI back, play around with it. I was running it stock. I like the feel. It can be a little bit squirrely, as I mentioned, and as you saw in the race. So I think the street tire compound is important to at least give you a little bit planted. Use good throttle control. Gonna keep you in there anyway. But that's the tires that I elected to go with. And then our front tire width, we're in the middle with the 245s. And in the rear, I think we're somewhere around the middle there. Yep, with the 265s. Not quite able to go up any further than that. And then on our rims, we have go all the way over here, the I'm not quite sure how to say that, the FM10s. So that's the wheel we got. That's a little over halfway across in that first group, the wheels we ended up with there. And then I do not have any upgrade in the wheel width. You weren't able to do that without sacrificing some PI, so those are stock, both front and rear. And then we have the Forza wing in the front and the Forza wing in the rear, as always, and I do not have any of the other components on there. So that is all of our build. Let's hop in and take a look at the tune. On the tires, we got 28.5 in the front, 28.5 in the rear. Our gear ratio is at 5.1. That is really good for Road America. If you're going to run it on Indy GP, you're going to want to drop this a little bit down to 4.9 is where I had it for Indy GP. So be aware of that. If you run this on Indy GP at 5.1, you are going to top it out on that longer straightaway. So you may want to make some adjustments here for a couple of the different tracks. Should work at 5.10 at most of the speed tracks, with the exception of Indy GP and certainly the super long straightaway Le Mans. This isn't really a Le Mans car anyway, but yeah, that should work. And then the front camber at -2.6, rear -2.1, and the front caster angle at 5.0. We've got the front roll bars at 22.72, the rear at 13.26, and then our front springs at 704.8, 497.2 in the rear, ride height at 5.2 and 5.2. I did have to bump that up slightly to keep it stable off of the turning strips. And you can see here it's quite a bit understeer tuned. This is again to help to try to keep it planted. Fair amount of horsepower, not a lot of tires, so it is understeer tuned. And as long as you use decent throttle control, you'll stay pretty planted here. Our rebound stiffness, real stiff in the front, real soft, or real stiff on the rebound, real soft on the bump, and the same in both. So I kind of just threw them out there, and that's and I didn't have to change them. So 11.7, 11.7, 1.9, really didn't need to make any adjustments. And then downforce, I took all the downforce out because we're going for a little bit more speed, and I don't believe that downforce is necessary in this class anyway, in a C-class car. So we took all that out. Braking force ended up at 47% on the balance and 125% on the force. This is something you'll have to play around with to your preference to see if you're getting them locking up at all, but that's what worked out best for me. And then finally on our differential, we had 25% acceleration, 8% deceleration. Pretty standard, especially on the deceleration. That's actually where I picked to start with and didn't end up having to make any adjustments on that one. So that is all of our race, our build, and our tune. So I think you guys are really going to like this one. There's it's going to do well it does real well in the lobbies. It does well on the leaderboard. Just a great all-around car. Another one of those Subaru BRZs I think you guys are really going to like. So we'll end it with that one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.